Good evening and thank you for joining us on India Business Hour. I'm Parikshit Luthra and here are the headlines we are tracking at this hour. Investors tread with caution around the world as the US Fed gears up to announce its rate decision. 72% of Wall Street is expecting a 25 basis point rate hike, according to a CNBC Fed survey. A range-bound session on Dalal Street ends with marginal gain. Sensex rises over 100 points and the Nifty gains over 40 points. Vedanta will rake in nearly 7,000 crore rupees and the union government will garner 3,000 crore rupees thanks to the fourth interim dividend announced by Hindustan Zinc. But the move will drain the cash reserves of 8ZL, leaving it with just 400 crore rupees. IFC, the private sector arm of the World Bank, will invest 600 crore rupees in Mahindra & Mahindra's newly incorporated last-mile mobility company, IFC, to own between 10 to 13% stake in the M&M subsidiary. The CEO of Adani Airports says the company is open to bidding for more airports if the conditions are right, expects operating costs to decrease by 30 to 50% in the coming years. Also adds that phase 1 of Navi Mumbai Airport is on track. The AAP government presents a 79,000 crore budget for Delhi, focuses majorly on infrastructure, education and health. The presentation of the budget was delayed by a day due to the tussle between the Delhi government and the Union Home Ministry. Tamil Nadu will double its capex in 2 years, as the state's finance minister Thiagarajan also stays firm on banning online gambling and betting in the state, says a new legislation will be sent for the governor's approval in a few days. That's an exclusive. Russia's Vladimir Putin welcomes China's controversial peace plan for Ukraine as Xi Jinping wraps up his Moscow visit. US and the West oppose the plan, which will allow Russia to freeze its territorial gains. Meanwhile, IMF announces a 4-year funding package of Ukraine worth more than $15 billion. Mukesh Ambani is the richest man in Asia and the only Indian in the global top 10, according to the Hurun rich list. Gautam Adani drops out of the top 10 after losing 3,000 crore rupees every week last year. Cyrus Poonawalla is the third richest Indian and the world's richest healthcare billionaire. Industrialist Kumaramangalam Birla is conferred the Padma Bhushan, India's third highest civilian honour. The Padma Shri is conferred upon investor Rakesh Jhunjhunwala posthumously. Straight to the top story this evening. Markets in Europe remain choppy as investors around the world await the US Federal Reserve's decision on interest rate hikes. According to the CNBC Fed survey, 72% of market participants are expecting a 25 basis point hike, but Wall Street is divided on whether the Fed should hike rates at this point. That's not all. Markets were also weighed down by an unexpected jump in UK inflation for February. The consumer price index rose to 10.4%. The surprise increase in February marked a break from 3 consecutive months of slowing price increases. European Central Bank's Christine Lagarde said that inflation remained too high in the region. She said bringing inflation back to 2% over the medium term is non-negotiable. CNBC's Steve. And let's get you more news from the United States. After Silicon Valley Bank collapse, U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has said that the government will move to protect depositors once again. Let's listen in to what she had to say.
The steps we took were not focused on aiding specific banks or classes of banks. Our intervention was necessary to protect the broader U.S. banking system. And similar actions could be warranted if smaller institutions suffered deposit runs that pose the risk of contagion.
And you can catch all the coverage of the Fed policy starting 11 p.m. tonight on CNBC-TV18. In the commodity market, oil prices slipped after 2 straight days of gains. This after reports pointed to an unexpected rise in U.S. crude inventory last week. This may be a signal of weakening fuel demand. Meanwhile, gold prices have come off highs as the focus now shifts from the banking system to the U.S. Fed action. Prices came off all-time highs of 60,455 rupees per 10 grams, slipping 2% overnight. On to all the action from Dalal Street. Nifty and Sensex ended with minor gains after a range-bound session ahead of the US Fed meet. The broader markets rose in line with the benchmarks. ICICI Bank, Reliance and TCS led the Nifty higher. Vedanta will rake in nearly 7,000 crore rupees and the union government will garner 3,000 crore rupees thanks to the fourth interim dividend announced by Hindustan Zinc. But the move will drain the cash reserves of 8ZL, leaving it with just 400 crore rupees. Nigel D'Souza is here with more details on the dividend declared by the company.
Well, that's right. Everyone was wondering whether or not Vedanta Group has a way out. There were fears that Vedanta Resources will default on some of their payments, but that was not to be. And we had laid out that there were a couple of options that they had on the table, and they've taken the easiest possible one, that's a dividend payout. So late last evening, Hindustan Zinc has declared a dividend of close to around 26 rupees per share. That takes the total dividend payout in this fiscal itself to around 75 rupees and 50 paise. Now, this 26 rupees per share, that equates to close to around 11,000 crores odd. And out of this total quantum, well, the promoter entity, that is Vedanta Limited, the listed entity, well, they'll get bulk of that. So they'll get close to around 7,100 crores. That's good news from a Vedanta Limited standpoint. Now, the Vedanta Limited shareholders will be hoping that all the dividend that they receive will be passed through. And if that is the case, it equates to around 19 rupees and 20 paise odd. Now, that's good news for the Vedanta shareholders. And from there, the majority of it will go to the Vedanta promoter, obviously, who has close to around 70% stake. That could equate to around $600 million odd. And that's enough to service the near-term debt obligations of Vedanta Resources. So good news for Hindustan Zinc shareholders, better news actually for Vedanta Limited as well as Vedanta Resources as well. Out of this total quantum, bulk goes to Vedanta Limited. The remainder of around 3,000 crores odd will go to the government of India. So that explains why both the two stocks are doing pretty well. Back to you.
Right. International Finance Corporation, the private sector arm of the World Bank, is planning to invest 600 crore rupees in Mahindra & Mahindra's new last-mile mobility company. IFC will own between 10 to 13% stake in the M&M subsidiary, and this will drive Mahindra's efforts in the last-mile mobility segment. The different platforms, such as the Alpha platform, the Trio platform, the Jito platform, all of them will now come under this new subsidiary. It could possibly be called Mahindra Last Mile Mobility Limited. This company is yet to be incorporated. Currently, the last mile mobility vertical is headed by Suman Mishra. So this will be a whole new company that will be set up, and this investment by IFC will go towards electrifying the portfolio as well. Moving on, the government will sell up to 3.5% stake in Hindustan Aeronautics via an offer for sale. The floor price for the OFS has been fixed at 2,450 rupees per share. The base size is 1.75% of the equity, with the option to sell additional 1.75% stake in the entity. The government is expected to garner more than 2,800 crore rupees through this stake sale. Reliance Retail's FMCG arm has expanded its portfolio by venturing into the home and personal care segment. The product line includes beauty soaps, detergent and dishwashing liquid. The management said that the launch will provide affordable quality products to every Indian household. The Karnataka government has approved Foxconns' proposal to invest in the state. The company will pump in 8,000 crore rupees, and this is expected to generate 50,000 jobs across the state. The proposal is among the 18 projects that were approved by the Karnataka government, with investing initiatives totaling to more than 75,000 crore rupees. Moving on, Adani Airports is willing to bid for more airports in the country to become the leading airport operator. The CEO of Adani Airports, Arjun Bansal, says they are looking at the bid document, and if the bid condition is right, they will bid.
Look, we have not seen the bid document yet, so what we need to study is, once the bid document come out, how the tariff will be filed, because they are pairing one, what they call it, main airport, and one other airport in the city, smaller airport. So once the tender is out, we need to study how this will work, just to understand how the tariff will apply, because tariff can't be same for both airport, or will it be same, we don't know. So once the tender document is out, we will study and then we will make a strategy. Our strategy is simple, to create a scale. So if the bid condition is right for us, we will bid.
Let's move on. Prime Minister Modi released India's 6G vision document today. The document is a roadmap for faster adoption of new technology in India and an action plan to roll out 6G services. Prime Minister Modi also launched the 6G test bed to provide industry, academic institutions and others a platform to test and validate evolving technologies.
आज भारत दुनिया में सबसे तेजी से 5G रोल आउट करने वाला देश है। सिर्फ 120 दिन में 120 दिनों में ही 125 से अधिक शहरों में 5G रोल आउट हो चुका है।
India's 5G rollout is among the fastest in the world, and within a short time frame of 6 months, we have 115,000 sites radiating 5G signal. India is now emerging as an exporter of telecom equipment and technology. The 5G lab ecosystem in 100 universities across India will add momentum to the startup.
Right. The Delhi government presented its 79,000 crore budget for FY24 this day after the Ministry of Home Affairs approved the budget after initially putting it on hold. Infrastructure, transport, women's health were some of the priority areas. Shivani gets us all the highlights from the Delhi budget.
The budget was delivered with the theme Clean, Beautiful and Modern Delhi. The key numbers include Rs 56,983 crore of revenue expenditure and an outlay of over 21,000 crore as capital expenditure. In a big push for infrastructure, Delhi government has proposed the building of 26 new flyovers, bridges and underpasses and also 3 double-decker flyovers in collaboration with DMRC. The state government said 29 new flyovers are being constructed and 1,600 e-buses will be inducted by the end of 2023. With an increase of over Rs 200 crore compared to the last year, the AAP government has allocated Rs 16,500 crore for education sector in the 2023 budget. Over 350 Delhi government schools will get 20 computers each and the teachers will get new tablets. The budget also puts forward a 6-point action plan for the clean Yamuna and removal of all 3 garbage heaps in Delhi. The budget proposes to treat 890 million gallons of sewage a day by March 2024. Under the Mohalla Bus Yojana, the Delhi government will induct electricity-based mini buses. The new buses inducted in Delhi will have factory-fitted GPS, CCTV cameras and panic buttons in a bid to boost women's safety. Delhi Finance Minister said that the last 4 months, 42,000 women visited the Mohalla clinics meant exclusively for women and another 100 will be added soon. A total of Rs 9,742 crore was allocated to the healthcare sector in this budget. Kailash Gehlot informed the Assembly that 9 new hospitals are being built, out of which 4 will be operational this year.
All right. Thanks, Shivani, for joining us. Moving on, the big newsmaker of the day, Tamil Nadu Finance Minister Palanivel Thiagarajan has said that the state will double its capex in the next 2 years. In an exclusive conversation with Shireen Bhan, he also said that the state government is firm on banning online gaming and betting, and a new legislation will be sent to the governor for further approval.
This is India's moment, right? The global macro picture, both politically and economically, is such that India is kind of the cynosure of all eyes. People want to divest from China. The scale, both economically and demographically, of India is so high they cannot think anywhere else. In fact, the action happens in the states. Yesterday, Dr. Suman Berry was here, the new Niti Aayog Vice Chairman, and he said the same thing to the Chief Minister. He said, development happens in the states, and that's a fact. So the states need to step up big time. The cabinet has made the decision, which has been publicly recorded, that we are going to reintroduce the online gaming ban bill, which is a very specific bill. It only says that because, it's a very technical bill. The bill is very solid. You get any scholar to opine on it. It's very solid. In fact, yesterday, the union minister somewhere has opined that it's within the rights of Tamil Nadu to pass such a bill. So this bill will get unanimously approved by the legislature in the next few days. It will get sent back to this governor.
In fact, you can catch that entire conversation with the Finance Minister of Tamil Nadu at 9:30 p.m. on CNBC-TV18. Ink manufacturer DIC India has expanded its production capacity with the inauguration of the company's 5th plant near Bharuch in Gujarat. The company also aims to use its facilities in India as a commercial supplier hub for cost-efficient exports. Listen in.
I think, and I'm pleased to say that we've got a plant which has just gone live. This plant is part of the DIC's Vision 2030 to bring more sustainable products to Indian market and also to our other countries in the group. This plant is principally a flexible packaging plant in the phase 1. We intend to produce over 10,000 metric tons in a year of a series of flexible packaging inks.
Which are the sunrise areas you're looking to expand in? Which are the premium segments you're looking to expand in the near future?
Okay. DIC Group is a very well entrenched ink company. We don't only do ink, we are actually a chemical company, and we are known actually for ink. But worldwide, we are actually #1 in 3 major product groups: our ink, our PPS, and our organic pigments. With this in line, we believe that we can color the world and effectively drive sustainability across the world.
Many chemicals are still imported in India. So as far as expansion of your Indian branches is concerned, isn't that hamstrung by those imports? Are you looking at self-reliance in those domains?
Yeah, I'm happy you raised that question again. DIC Group has always been, bringing products in from various countries. But the Indian chemical hub has grown in maturity and in quality. We are now looking quite seriously in using India as one of our supplier hubs.
And before we head into a break, President Murmu conferred the Padma Awards today. Top industrialist Kumaramangalam Birla was conferred a Padma Award. We also saw Rekha Jhunjhunwala, the wife of the late Rakesh Jhunjhunwala, accepting the honour on his behalf of her late husband. We're going to take a short break, but don't go anywhere. We'll get you glimpses of the Padma ceremony when we're back.
Padma Bhushan Shri Kumaramangalam Birla, Shri Rakesh Radheshyam Jhunjhunwala मरणोपरांत व्यापार एवं उद्योग,
Prime Minister Modi chaired a high-level meeting to review status and preparedness of public health response to COVID-19 and influenza. The Prime Minister advised precaution and maintenance of vigil, emphasized the need to enhance lab surveillance and testing of all severe acute respiratory illness cases. At least 13 dead and hundreds injured after an earthquake of magnitude 6.5 hit regions of Afghanistan and Pakistan. The tremors from the quake were felt as far as Delhi and North India. The epicenter of the earthquake was in Afghan's Hindu Kush mountains. On to international news now. Missile strikes in Ukraine's Zaporizhia reportedly killed at least 19 people. Meanwhile, President Zelensky visited the soldiers at the Bakhmut frontline. China and Russia have signed a strategic agreement on deepening bilateral ties between the two countries. Chinese President Xi Jinping said that both China and Russia are bringing their ties into a new era of cooperation. Further, Russian President Putin said all agreements have been reached between the two countries. Now to a special report. Mukesh Ambani has been named as the richest man in Asia and the only Indian in the global top 10 according to the Hurun rich list. Gautam Adani has dropped out of the top 10 after losing 3,000 crore rupees for every week last year. Shilpa Ranipeta is here with more.
Mukesh Ambani is once again India's richest person with a wealth of $82 billion. He's also Asia's richest and the only Indian in the global top 10 list at the 9th spot. Now, Gautam Adani slipped to the 2nd spot after losing $28 billion in wealth last year. Now, remember, shares of the Adani Group's 7 listed companies have been under pressure since Hindenburg's report on January 24th took a short position in certain securities of the group. Now, Hurun says that Adani lost 3,000 crore rupees every week over the last year. Adani is followed by Cyrus Poonawalla of Serum Institute, then Shiv Nadar and family, and Lakshmi Mittal in the 5th spot. With economies, in fact, and stock markets across the globe facing turbulence over the past year, 5 people every week, or 269 people in total, lost their billionaire tags last year across the globe. Interestingly, billionaires such as Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and Google's Sergey Brin also were among the biggest wealth losers in absolute value. But India, despite seeing a drop in the number of billionaires, is still the 3rd largest billionaire-producing nation in the world. In fact, it is also home to India's richest healthcare billionaire in the world, in Cyrus Poonawalla, and the world's richest paint billionaire with Ashwin Dani. Now, it is also home to the world's richest aviation billionaires in Indigo Airlines, Rakesh Gangwal and Rahul Bhatia, and the world's richest biscuit manufacturer in Britannia's Nusli Wadia and family. So, as you can see, India's healthcare sector minted the most number of billionaires, and this was followed by the consumer goods and chemicals, while globally, financial services, healthcare and retail sectors minted more billionaires.
All right. Thank you, Shilpa, for joining us with that comprehensive report on the Hurun Rich List. Before we wrap on this edition of India Business Hour, we leave you with pictures of country's spring festival known as Gudi Padwa in the west or Ugadi in southern India. The country saw festivities in different parts. We're leaving you with some of those pictures.